Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Aloha. We are
This
so
is-
excited to be here to talk about all things fat versus protein versus fat,
Any questions you have?
questions, comments, snide remarks, whatever it is. We are here to answer them. Our little Bella wants to say hello. Isn't she cute? Bella, you're just so sweet. She's a good dog. She doesn't bark either.
I'm going to
The little lover.
share this.
I do want to mention before we get started, we do have a class coming up. I talked Craig into doing another class at our house. It will be September 13th. So if you are nearby and you want to come to the house, it's going to be very limited because not only are you going to get a presentation, we're also going to do some cooking demos and tips on how to cook if you're too busy to cook, because nobody's busier than I am, and I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks. But the at home is very limited. It will fill fast. So if you're not on our texting, we always text our group people first. So jump on the texting. You can get a coupon for one of our books and all of that type of stuff. So get on the texting. I think Craig will have it in the show notes. And then also we have some keto retreats coming up. My next keto retreat to Croatia is filled. So sorry about that. But the retreat to South Africa, which Craig is coming with me, still has a few spots left. I believe 5 spots. So if you are interested in going on a trip of a lifetime to South Africa, it was probably my favorite trip I've ever been on. Last year we went on a safari and it was just pinch me. It was so great. I mean, I'm an animal lover. It was beautiful. That's in November. I can't remember, 8th, 6th, something around there. And it's going to be beautiful. But then we'll have some retreats coming up next year, Costa Rica, things like that. But the South Africa retreat, that's the one that I'm super excited about. So I know it's a long flight, but it'll be totally worth it. So get your questions going. Hey, it's our first live that ever came. Hello from Chicago. If you haven't watched it, what was that? The Bear on HBO. About Chicago.
That's a good show. Yeah,
it is. The second season just came out. We gotta watch it.
I shared it all over.
And then we also have weekly support meetings if you're interested. That's what we're usually doing. That's why we haven't been doing lives, because we're usually with our clients and with our coaches. So check that out.
It's on keto-adapted.com. You can get weekly group coaching calls.
Yeah, I probably should have said where to get that, right?
Yeah.
But people love it. And if you are already kind of an expert, we have a coaching certification program, and that sign up will start now. And the next semester starts July 14th, I believe. But the reason why we want to do this is because we saw someone do an Instagram reel talking about protein. It wasn't a reel. It was just an Instagram live talking about protein. And she said, you can absorb amino acids, which come from protein, without fat. And Craig's like, what?
Yeah, your body can absorb protein without fat. There's nothing that there's no biological process, nothing that indicates you need fat to absorb the protein. There's also sort of a tangent on that. People say that you can't build muscle without some fat. And yes, technically, the cellular wall of the muscle has some fat in it. But here's the thing.
Nobody's eating no fat.
Do you know how? Yeah, first of all, nobody's eating no fat. Even in protein-sparing modified fast days,
you get enough fat.
You're getting 30 grams of fat. You're getting some fat. Nobody's eating zero fat. We're not recommending eating zero fat.
No. I remember being a teenager, and my mom went to Sam's Club and bought chicken breast. And I looked at the bag, and there was like 1 gram of fat, and I was so furious. I was like, why is there 1 gram of fat? It was just ridiculous.
So we're never recommending anybody eat zero fat, and that's not the intent. And yes, you need some, but guess what? If your body's already high fat, you've got a lot of fat around. It can tap into those free fatty acids right from your fat stores and use some of those to build cell walls and things, or use some from the diet, because we're not eating zero fat. And the amount of fat that goes into making a cell wall compared to the amount of fat that's in your adipose tissue, your fat stores, is microscopic. So to even, talk about that is kind of silly in the context of, dietary fat, where it goes.
And another thing that triggered us was she said that if you eat too much protein, it's wasted.
Yeah, like if there's that kind of myth that if you eat more than 30 grams or so of protein in a sitting, that it's basically wasted.
30 grams. I eat
I
way
know.
more than that. At
Well, what it comes, there were some studies that showed that a complete protein like beef or something that's very complete, you need around 30 grams, maybe even as low as 20 if it's something like whey protein, which you don't want to do if you want to lose weight. But, average around 30 grams of protein to start the process of building muscle protein synthesis. That's where you're building muscle. And if you have more than that, it doesn't like make the muscle proteins. It's more like an on-off trigger. Okay. It's not really, like the more you have it, the more you get kind of thing. But here's the thing about protein. Two things on that. Number one, protein stimulates CCK, which is a hormone that slows the pulses of your digestive tract to slow the digestion down. So protein stimulates this because it's slowing the digestion down to make your body absorb all the protein. Okay. And what that does then is, yes, you get about 30 grams worth that's digested and into the bloodstream. The body says, oh, I'm getting enough protein. I'm going to start doing muscle building and mTOR.
It also lowers your hunger.
Yep. And so once it says I'm going to build, it then builds, and then it needs some time to rest. But guess what? Your digestion is slowed down, and it's still digesting more protein, right? And so after a period of time, hour, 2 hours, you get enough protein to do it again once the process has rested. So you could trigger muscle building twice or even maybe 3 times from one large protein meal.
But this is why your appetite is so like your appetite is satiated when you have a lot of protein because it's registering that CCK. But this sounds a lot like Ozempic, which some people are spending thousands of dollars a month on when all you really need to do is focus on eating
prioritize protein. And then the other thing about protein is, building muscle, mTOR, is one of the things you do with protein. There is so many other things you do with protein. Building skin, building hair, building nails. There's, think about all the processes in the body that, bless you, derive from protein. Like, insulin is a type of protein. Like all the these hormones and things, all these things that protein is used for. It's not just muscle building. Okay, so the body is going to use all the protein that you eat. Let's just put it that way.
So Jim, I know, where is it?
Right here.
Jim, okay, so Pastor Jim, how about he's one of our clients, so we'll just we'll chat about how to make that shake for protein. Yeah,
or go log into the website, ask a question there,
and then we'll answer there.
We can give you all the info there.
Yeah, because we know what situation you're in, and I have some ideas for you.
Yeah.
You could make it just with water, but it's going to be really bland. Boring.
Happy Sunday.
Hey, I have gout. How do I continue? I've already lost the amount of weight I need to. How do I continue on maintenance if I'm only eating vegetables and small amount of chicken? So I wouldn't eat.
So here's the thing.
Gout is fructose.
Well, and in maintenance, you still want to prioritize protein.
Yeah.
Okay. You just up the fat a bit.
Protein's not causing gout. That's the misconception. Yeah. There's a really great article. We wrote it on Maria Mind Body Health about gout and fructose. But Gary Taubes even wrote about gout, the true cause of gout, and it's not protein. Sometimes gout can be caused by oxalates. So when you're eating only vegetables, guess what you're getting a lot of? Oxalates. And so when the oxalates build up, they're going to dump, causing pain sometimes in the big toe, causing gout. So I would really caution against vegetables and being afraid of protein.
Jeanette says, I love that you always have the best, most up-to-date information. Thank you so much.
Is he your husband? Yeah, yes, he is.
So in Costa Rica? I wasn't in Costa Rica.
No.
I just stayed home with the boys.
Yeah. I talked about you, though.
Yeah.
All good.
There's such a thing as you shouldn't be eating late in the night because your glucose doesn't get to rest. There's a couple issues with eating late.
It's more about the human growth hormone to
And
me.
sleep, yeah.
So your fat burning hormone, your youth hormone is that human growth hormone that we all want to stay high. It's good for your skin. It's good for your muscles, all of that. Well, that largest surge of human growth hormone is about 30 minutes after you fall asleep. However, it's like a teeter-totter antagonist with insulin. If you eat anything, even pure fat, insulin's going to rise. And when insulin is present, that human growth hormone is shunted. So you don't get that natural boost that you want. The second largest boost of human growth hormone is with heavy working out, weightlifting, things like that. I would just say it's best to not eat 3 hours before bedtime.
Yeah, you want to kind of cut off the calories.
Eat at 6 o'clock, and then
3 hours
I guess
before bed.
I'm in bed early. So
Lisa says, eat the protein. Eating too much fat changes satiety since it fills you up, and then you won't get enough protein. Exactly.
And Lisa knows her stuff. She's one of our coaches. So thank you,
Yes.
Lisa, for chiming in.
Let's see.
She's one of our best coaches. So if you need some help, go to Lisa.
Chicken breast versus filet mignon, as to which is better.
Oh, filet tastes way better than chicken.
And
I'm guessing that's not what you're talking about.
I would say also from a
Beef.
micronutrient standpoint, the vitamins and minerals, beef is going to be a bit better for you.
But here's where I'm leaning. When you buy things that are organic, the things that buy organic are chicken and eggs. Beef, not so much, especially a lean beef like filet. The toxins are stored in the fat, so I'm not so concerned about that. But of course, it's better to support breastfed farmers.
Is goat butter okay?
No, it tastes terrible.
Depends on your goals. If you're trying to lose weight, we always say dairy free, and so I would go without that too.
I'm not a big fan of goat and goat cheese. Sorry.
So when doing a protein sparing day, is it okay to eat your protein 2 times in the 8-hour window?
Yes.
I've been doing that. Absolutely.
Yep.
And actually, for most women, we don't really recommend doing OMAD or 1 meal a day because
It's hard.
It's too hard to get enough protein in. And over time, you could lose muscle if you're coming up short on protein.
I'm guilty of that. I did OMAD because it was you got to do OMAD. It's so healthy, this and that. And I ended up losing a lot of muscle mass. And I was taking care of the family, things like that. And now people like to pick on my size, but I am getting stronger. Okay. Leave me alone.
If you have plenty of fat stores, then you should decrease your dietary rate. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the free fatty acids, the fatty acids in your meat that you're eating and the fatty acids stored in your fat cells, the body can burn either of those pretty equally for fuel. And so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't care. The body doesn't care that much. It's going to use whatever it wants. And so if you want to burn more off the body, put a little bit less in the diet.
Lakeview lady, you're so sweet. How are you feeling these days, Craig?
I'm doing okay. Ups and downs as always, but
last week was a tough week.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
Thank you very much.
I remember that you talked about your husband and sons.
I haven't seen him on the live. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always in my coach meetings. He's the scientist behind everything, right?
So I do long distance running, biking, and hiking. Do you have any suggestions for fueling during long activities that are longer than 4 to 5 hours?
I would definitely get the Element on.
For sure, electrolytes.
If you haven't tried Element, if you go to drinkelement.com/Maria, you can get a free sample with your order. So check that out. But electrolytes are really important. I did not focus on them when I was doing marathons.
And going that long, 4 to 5 hours, you could look at some fuel, like some fat or
there's a fat bombs.
There's fat shots.
F bombs.
Yeah. Something like that would be a good idea.
But definitely practice with that because your body is going to change. But usually your body adjusts to that much better than the fructose. That's usually like disaster pants. So yeah, try the F bombs.
Let's see.
300-pound woman.
310, 5'8", fat loss at 95, 120. Yeah, I mean, I would do at least 120 grams of protein, maybe even 130.
If you're still hungry,
at your height,
get your protein.
Going over on protein is not a problem as long as
don't read.
Calories and fat are in check.
But people don't read. Protein is a goal. You have to hit that, but you can go over. Where like fat and carbs is a maximum.
You want like a limit, and fat you just adjust a bit based on your goals. If you're not losing, adjust fat down a bit. But those numbers look pretty good. I would just maybe add a little bit more protein.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially 5'8".
yeah.
8.5.
What do you recommend more, carnivore or keto or high
for insulin resistance?
For high insulin resistance.
Well, ultimately, you want to shrink the fat cells and gain or maintain muscle. So you could do carnivore and not reverse insulin resistant because you're putting a bunch of butter on your steak and drinking heavy cream. Like that's all carnivore.
Yeah, and we've had clients like that. We had one man who was at his personal fat threshold, which is a very important thing. I'll put a link below here to that video. Your personal fat threshold is basically your fat cells. People don't make new fat cells easily. Okay. For the most part, when you're young, you make new fat cells. And then after a toddler age, most people don't really make new fat cells. So they just kind of have fat cells that they fill up and empty.
If
you don't have a lot of fat cells, you fill them up and they're stuffed. Now there's no place for fat to go and you're insulin resistant. And if you're in that situation and eating carnivore with lots of fat and eating sticks of butter, guess what? It's going to get worse. And we've seen people have triglycerides shoot to 2,000 doing that.
One of my clients, I'll never forget her. It was about 15 years ago. Her name was Jen. She was 105 pounds at age 35. She just had her first child and her blood sugars were so bad that she was having strokes. And she looked really healthy to the outside, someone looking at her, but she was so metabolically damaged that she could not eat what she was eating. And she said, Maria, I wish I would gain weight when I cheated because I don't. And I have to change or I'm going to kill myself. But this is, by accident because she's eating too much fat. But the Asian paradox, this is why people are like, why can the Asians eat all this, white rice and be so thin and that? Well, they don't have a lot of fat cells, but they are the growing clientele that does have type 2 diabetes.
I love this one. Hi from the UK. Hey. Any ideas how to count macros? Don't want to overeat or undereat on carnivore. Well, again, depends on your goals, right? If your goal is weight loss, we actually in our ebooks we have 2 carnivore ebooks now. And you can go to keto-adapted.com and you can find those. And in those, we put charts of the different cuts of meat sorted by protein to energy ratio, which means take the protein divided by the energy, carbs and fat. So basically fat. Yeah. So the higher that P/E number, the more protein and less fat there is in that cut of meat. So by sorting the charts that way, you just go up to the higher P/E to find cuts of meat that are better for weight loss. And you come down for ones that are more for maintenance and even gaining weight. And so carnivore is extremely easy if you're dairy free, just by using those charts and just go up and down the charts. So yeah, we don't have to hit all of them. A lot,
whey protein. Jeanette, you said not to use whey protein for weight loss is egg white. So protein has different rates of absorption. I was just arguing with our son, who always has to be right, about different protein sources and how your rate of absorption depends on a lot of things. Whey protein is so quickly absorbed into the bloodstream. I usually only use it for my bodybuilder clients that really, they're working out a lot. They can handle that rush of blood sugar rise. Whey is dairy, which I also usually cut out for my clients. Egg white is okay. My favorite is Equip, which is made from beef because that has a better absorption rate. It's my favorite one. It's delicious. Equip. Use code Maria to save. But it's something that I've always used. I like it like every day. So it's my natural or it's my healthy little dessert every day. But I did see, Maria, the sleep problems and night hot flashes every night are making me nuts. Help. Live Chill Life. I like that name. This is going to sound spammy, but do a health assessment. I do health assessments for people in your situation, and I'm going to recommend at least 5 different supplements that are natural, and they're going to help you sleep like a charm. The reason I know is I suffered from sleep problems. I wrote about it in my book when I was about 20, and I was like, I can't sleep, like whatever I do. And he started reading to me at night, and he still does to this day, 26 years later or whatever. But if you do a health assessment, if you go to ketomaria.com, I don't know how to get that. Will you have it in the show notes?
Yeah, below here when the recording goes out, I'll put
it'll be the best money
video
ever
description.
Spent, I promise you.
Let's see. Carrie's here. She's another one of our coaches, Carrie Camp. By following Maria's program, I am no longer diabetic or have low thyroid. I followed their keto program and my personal macros. I added it in full protein days as well, and it works.
And you look amazing.
Yeah,
we had dinner
Carrie's
with
doing
her,
amazing.
was it a year and a half ago now, and it was awesome. So thank you, Carrie.
Let's see.
What do you think about the lion diet? Well, it's called carnivore.
Yeah, well, I think, I'm not super familiar with the whole protocol or whatever it is. Is that where they also eat one meal a day? Because if it is,
then no.
We just kind of discussed.
Yeah,
it's not great for women to eat one meal a day, in our opinion, because you just get too full too fast
and don't eat enough.
You don't get enough protein. So.
Menopause classes, or a book suggestion. I do have menopause. We have a menopause class, right?
Yep.
It's a recording.
Well, no, we don't.
Not anymore.
No, menopause, I don't think so.
The book suggestion, Get Keto, The Complete Guide to Success, that has a whole chapter on menopause and hormones. And it's people call it their keto Bible. That's not my word. It's somebody else's. And it's nice.
Yeah, Keto, The Complete Guide.
I saw your chart and fat ratio and found it was so helpful. Thank you so much for that visual aid.
Awesome.
It's this guy.
Bought the personal health assessment, and it really is the best money ever spent. Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Mandy. You're very sweet. What do you mean by full protein days? No, pure protein days is PSMF. Protein sparing modified fats.
Pure protein is a better term for it.
That's what I wrote about.
If you ask us, that's what she used to use 15 years ago. But it's basically you're getting enough protein for your lean mass, little to no carbs, and then only maybe 30 grams of fat. And that is a day you do on occasion. It's a tool to break a stall, to speed up weight loss, those kind of things.
If you are trying to lose 50 pounds, you could do it 3 days a week, but just not every day. So the line diet's just beef and salt and water.
Okay, so
that's a carnivore level 1.
5 years ago, we wrote the Carnivore Cookbook.
And we did.
In that book, we outlined the Carnivore Autoimmune Protocol. And we created levels, and that would be our level 1 carnivore, where it's beef and salt. And then level 2, we add in other proteins. Level 3, we add in eggs and dairy if you're able to tolerate. And then level 4, maybe spices and more carnivore adjacent foods. But that was we defined that protocol, 5-6 years ago, and it's great for autoimmune disorders. It's great for certain skin conditions, Lyme disease, chronic pain,
simplicity.
Simplicity, as well as, certain brain conditions like Alzheimer's, bipolar, those kind of things. We talk about all that in detail in our Carnivore Cookbook.
Yep. And we've done it. So, yes. Yeah. We called it Carnivore Level 1.
Yeah.
What do you, let's see. Can you please chat, Lisa, our coach. Lisa, our coach, is asking, could you please chat about drinking your protein versus eating or chewing protein? More people need to understand. So it's really good idea to not drink protein shakes, because when you chew your food, it signals different hormones in your brain to signal satisfaction, fullness, and you'll notice that. Remember when he had cavitation surgery when he had Lyme disease, and I was making these really fatty protein shakes that were super high in protein, super high in fat, and he was getting so many calories. He's like, I'm not.
Oh, they're like 1,000 calories in this shake.
I think there were about 3.
And I would drink one, and then a little bit later I'd have another one, and I'd be like, I'm not even full.
Yeah.
And I've had 2,000 calories, and yet if I eat 2,000 calories of steak, there's no chance I'm full for the rest of the day. Yep. And so, especially if weight loss is the goal, you want to chew your calories because of satiety, but also vitamins and minerals. Yep. The shake isn't going to have all the vitamins and minerals that are in your beef. Right. Beef is, 8 years ago now, we wrote in our keto book, I put a whole chapter with these charts of the vitamins and minerals in beef, because nobody was talking about it, and it wasn't general knowledge at that point, like most people understand now. Beef, whole foods, you're going to get all those vitamins and minerals, and it's going to be much better for satiety.
Yeah. I'm so glad I found you. I'm still learning your way, but Dr. Fung, not to name drop, fasting view caused me to have major binge and gain a lot of weight. Unhealthy, fasted for a week. When you fast, you will lose muscle mass, and that's proven time and time again.
Which is over time slowly reducing your BMR, or basal metabolic rate, because muscle burns more energy all day long, which means you're going to and shifting body composition.
So instead of water fasting, like he's recommending, we recommend a protein sparing modified fast approach where you focus on protein so you don't lose your lean mass. This is all stuff that we've learned where you just burn fat, you maintain your muscle, and people really love it and have fantastic results. Like that one lady, she lost 200 pounds in 8 months. This is just a testimony I posted on my Instagram.
Does it take time for your body to heal before losing fat? Currently doing PSMF.
I would ask, are you sleeping?
So a couple things.
Are you sleeping or are you drinking coffee?
What are your macros?
True.
Are you, if you're eating too much fat, again, you can eat carnivore and maintain weight. You can gain weight.
Yeah.
It all depends on your macros.
Protein sparing.
Yeah. So if you're doing protein sparing days and got decent macros and you're cutting out dairy,
no dairy.
It may be just the process of weight loss. I mean, think of it, you got to trust the process.
You're not saying sleep. Sleep and coffee are also going to hold you back.
But you got to trust the process. We had a client. I remember a while back. She didn't lose any weight for the first 2 months. Yeah. And the third month, she lost 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. She stuck with it because she felt good, so much better. But sometimes the body has to go through processes.
But when we say dairy, though, too, we mean no butter.
Yeah. But you didn't gain the weight in 2 months. So it took years. So you're not going to lose it all in 2 months either. It's going to be a process. True. And you just have to trust the process. Yeah.
And you could also get your hormones checked. Because here's another thing that nobody ever talks about. Can I talk about something while we bring in some more questions? So women, when we go through menopause, what happens is your ovaries are no longer producing estrogen and progesterone. This is interesting for even men, okay? Mm-hmm. And there's 3 different types of estrogen. There's estrogen that you make only when you're pregnant, not talking about that. There's the estrogen that comes from your ovaries. Well, you're no longer producing that. And then there's the third estrogen that's stored in your fat cells and can be made from fat, which your body wants estrogen. So what it does is it'll slow your thyroid down. So you put body fat on, usually in the belly area, and it can use that estrogen for your hormones. It's not good. Nobody likes that excess belly fat. And so getting your hormones checked, if you are a candidate, if you're interested in bioidenticals, it can be very helpful in that situation. Just saying.
I'm going to pull this up so I can do a quick link here. We've got a few people asking about things.
Sorry.
And I just want to put links out so that people can get to it right away.
Is Autumn on? Yeah. Probably not. She had a tornado
stuff going on, but somebody asked a link to the health assessment, so I'm going to throw that in here quick. So here you go, everyone. This is the
Which book should I begin to buy? I would say Keto: The Complete Guide to Success. Craig will have our ebooks.
Also, there's a link to our ebooks, and the ebooks, like I mentioned earlier, we have a brand new Carnivore for Weight Loss ebook. Has those charts on, PDE ratio for all the meats. So it's awesome.
Dairy sabotaged my weight loss. Had to cut it out for the time being. And I had to do that also. We're from Wisconsin. Like, we love our cheese. Like, you can buy cheese curds at the gas station. But for me, I did not lose any weight until I cut it out. But now I can add it back in without an issue and maintain my weight.
I love this, Linda. I have been mostly carnivore for 4 years. Everyone was saying to eat more fat, so I did and stalled for those 4 years. As soon as I got on Maria's protocol, I lost 20 pounds fairly quickly.
Way to go, Linda. I'm so proud of you.
That's great.
Do you believe in HRT? Yes, I do. The science showing that Dr. Peter Itia did a great YouTube video about it. The science showing that it was causing breast cancer was a very skewed study. They used people that were already sick and like 65 and older.
And it was the synthetic hormone too, right?
Yes, it was. So why does coffee hold you back? Well, it increases blood sugar on average about 8%. Which will in turn, so when you drink coffee, your hunger will stop and go away, but what goes up must come down. So the blood sugar going up stops your hunger, but it's going to come sliding down, increases hunger a lot.
We see time
increases cravings, and people will the only thing they'll change is cutting out the black coffee, and they'll lose like 5 pounds in a week.
Because they just black coffee, nothing in it, no sweetener, no cream, nothing. We've seen time and time again, people when they cut it out, they have less hunger.
The biggest thing,
they sleep better, which is huge for less hunger.
Most people sleep really bad. The biggest thing about coffee though is it makes you less insulin sensitive. which is exactly what you don't want. So if
Yep.
people are testing their blood sugar, whatever, it's making you less insulin sensitive. And especially as you go through menopause and you have low hormones, even if you're not through menopause and you have low hormones, which can happen. I had low hormones in my 20s. I was insulin sensitive, insulin resistance I had because I had low hormones.
And so why no dairy in coffee? We just covered coffee. Why no dairy?
Well, dairy is a more common allergen than gluten is.
Yep. And then it's one of those foods that doesn't register satiety like other ones.
Oh, you can
nuts
overeat.
are this similar. You can just, it's easy to overdo them and you just don't even know it. It's just
very calorie dense.
Register that satiety as well. And so it's easy to overdo. I've started drinking Element or Keto Chow a few times a day and swear it's giving me energy. Is it possible, or is it
No,
my
it
head?
totally does.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you first start out eating this way, having an Element is huge to get electrolytes. To get electrolytes on, it's huge. So yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, and what Element is like it's basically a natural Gatorade without sugar or food dye. It's something that my kids drink every day. Actually, Kai sometimes will get headaches when he's like playing football and stuff. Kai's our youngest, and we're like, oh, you need an Element, and it'll go right away. And we work with people. One of my biggest clientele is migraines, and I've had people with migraines need almost 5 of those a day, and it will finally clear up their migraine.
When it comes to electrolytes, everybody's a little different in how much they need, especially based on your size. Like Dave Feldman, a friend of ours, he's pretty tall, big guy. But he needs like 10,000 milligrams of sodium.
Way too much salt on his food.
But he feels best that way.
I know.
Where most people, we try to have them shoot for around, 4,500, 5,000 milligrams, about half that much.
Dairy causes my lips to swell. Doing AIP discovering is causing the lip reaction. Miss dairy
so many
much.
People.
You usually crave what you're allergic to. So if it's hard to give up, it's probably an issue. What about bowel issues? Trying to be modest, LOL. I usually have to run to the restroom a lot lately, only eating after meat. Are you doing any dairy? Because that can cause it. Oh, disaster pants. You probably have a histamine response. This is exactly why Joe Rogan quit the carnivore diet, because he was running to the bathroom. He had disaster pants. That is usually a histamine response. So never eat aged meats. Reheated meats left over in the fridge, it grows histamines. Stay away from all histamines.
So somebody's asking about a food tracker. We have, in addition to group coaching that we do every Sunday, I put the link there. It's for our membership subscriptions. We also have a meal planner tool that if you're using our recipes, there's nothing better because you just plop the recipes in. It calculates the macros for the day.
So I love Jill.
Your grocery list.
It is actually, we were working with a man who owns a aging facility.
Yeah.
Nursing home. It's not a nursing home because it helps people that he actually bought the planner because he's like, it's perfect. It gives you the meal plan. It gives you the grocery list. It's perfect. But I love Jill because she said, thanks for explaining the coffee facts, time to quit. But I didn't even give you all the facts. I wrote a whole blog post of why I worked at a coffee shop since I've been 15. I had an IV of coffee. I loved it. It was so hard to quit, but coffee increases blood pressure. It makes your teeth brown, it has mold. It's the most mold containing. I don't care if it's organic or not. It has mold. That's the most mold containing product. And most people are dealing with mold issues. There's so many other things like reasons to give up coffee. It's not worth it. It is a bean, which is not carnivore. I find it interesting that carnivores drink coffee.
There's a post all about when not to drink coffee.
There you go. I want to do your coaching program.
Yeah, you can sign up now for the next session. You can sign up right now.
Well, the thing about the coaching program is we teach you how to be a good marketer.
Yeah, that's part of the program. It's not just about keto and carnivore and protein sparing modified fast and the science and all of that. It's about building a business and building marketing and building websites and everything else you need to know. It's business in a box. It's everything. So
if you have belly fat, isn't that meaning you're estrogen dominant and having too much estrogen even though you're menopausal? Yes. That's what I was explaining. You're no longer producing the healthy estrogen from your ovaries, which you want. It keeps your skin great. So many other things. It helps you sleep at night. you have the third type of estrogen that comes from your fat that you don't want. It's not the healthy estrogen. It's that toxic estrogen that's the leading cause of thyroid cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, even prostate cancer in men is an estrogen dominant cancer. So there are different natural supplements that you could do with the health assessment to get rid of that bad estrogen.
Carnivore level 4 for a month and use element, electrolytes, and sleeping well.
Oh, geez. Thank you.
Where is it? But still fatigued and difficult to exercise. Well, it's only been a month, and sometimes it takes people 4 to 6 weeks to get fully adapted to burning fat as your primary fuel, depending on what you came from. So I would give it a little more time, maybe up your electrolytes a little bit more and see if that helps.
Brittany, just give it a little bit more time. But thank you so much, Cass.
Oh, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Any thoughts?
I love taking my classes. Definitely recommend. Thank you.
Any thoughts on what could cause heart arrhythmia and or AFib after starting carnivore?
Too high of iron.
That and possibly
electrolytes.
Not enough electrolytes. So what happens is your body, when you cut out the carbs, it flushes water because carbs retain water. And with that go electrolytes. And if you're dehydrated, you can, especially low on potassium, you can get, a little heart flutter and those kind of things happening.
But it could be high iron too.
And that's the other side of it. It could be high iron.
Donate blood, donate plasma. So oat milk. So Roll has been asking a few times about oat milk. No. Don't do oat milk.
Yeah, don't do oat milk. Use a different kind of milk, like
I would do like
macadamia.
Unsweetened coconut milk or unsweetened macadamia milk has no oxalates, where oat milk
no grains. But yeah, so back to the AFib, I would start with electrolytes, and if it persists, definitely get it checked out and look at possibly your iron levels.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this live you're doing. You're both amazing. Well, thank you, Christina. You're awesome.
Thank you.
No oat milk. Never. No. Yep. No milk. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting for hormones or menopause? Well, intermittent fasting is not going to heal hormones or menopause. Let's just get that clear. But we naturally intermittent fast. Our kids, they're not hungry in the morning. They sometimes will eat at noon. Sometimes Micah won't eat till 2. But it's just because they're not hungry, but then eat plenty of calories later in the day for their growth because they're still growing. But intermittent fasting alone will not heal hormones or menopausal symptoms. Just putting it out there. I mean, eating a saturated fat diet will help, but it's not going to heal that. We did have a coach who was 50 who went carnivore level 1 and she got her menstrual cycle back.
Awesome. First live, learning so much. Just fun, you guys. Thanks. Awesome. Let's see.
I'm 60 now. I need to lose over 100 pounds. Well, you came to the right place, Dawn. We got you.
Yeah, we have a great testimonies page on our blog.
Yep.
And it's all these testimonies. And guess what? We had to stop at 150 pounds lost because the page was getting so full from the over 250 pounds, over 200 pounds, over 150 pounds. There were so many over 100 pounds.
Do we have Twyla back here?
We didn't even, it's probably in a magazine there.
I know. We have Twyla. Twyla is one of our coaches. We have
almost 300 pounds now.
We have actually 2 clients that were on the cover of Women's World magazine. Twyla lost over 250 pounds doing ultra keto, which is just what we told her to do. And she came to visit us in Maui this last January. And it was just so nice to actually meet her in person. She's just an amazing person. And she's like, I eat this way because it's not only delicious, but it saved my life.
Jill, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, Jill.
We're happy to help. Somebody says cauliflower ice okay. In moderation, if you're trying to lose weight, I would maybe skip it.
I have a way better recipe where you use egg whites and you use a whisk and you make it into little pieces of rice. It has way more flavor. It doesn't stink the house up like cauliflower, and you get protein. So do my protein sparing rice instead. So
this one I want to address here. Doesn't excess protein turn into fat? No.
Or sugar.
Here's the thing.
That's a first.
Here's the process for turning protein into a fat. First, you have to turn it into glucose, which is an energy intensive process. It takes like 5 ATP to turn one protein molecule into a glucose molecule. And then you then have to take the glucose and turn it into fat, which there is a process for that in the body. But guess what? It's also very energy intensive process. And so let me ask you, with your hair, your nails, your skin that you're shedding all day, your muscle, all the autophagy, which is cellular turnover of all proteins all the time happening in your body, is the body going to do that with protein when you're eating fat and it's got fat sitting there? So you got fat sitting here that's coming in the diet or is stored on your body. You got enough fat. Why would it do all this incredibly energy intensive process to turn some protein into fat when you already have fat? And yet your daily protein needs are huge for cellular turnover, skin turnover, nails, hair, everything, building and repairing muscle. It's not going to turn the protein into that.
Amy.
It just isn't.
Yay, Amy's here. Miss you too.
Hello.
Love that story of the 50-year-old.
Awesome.
I'm 57 and wanting to gain muscle. It's overtime for me to get. It's overtime to me. Yeah, you got this. We have a great also weightlifting program on our website that I've been starting to use every single morning. I go out and I spend 15 minutes. Who doesn't have 15 minutes? I do it when it's still dark out, but I feel so much happier lifting weights. I'm running less. I'm lifting weights more. I can now lift my kayak onto my car, get my bike onto my car. Like I'm so much stronger. And that program is amazing.
That's all part of the group coaching right there where you can sign up.
Blueberry fruit. Okay.
Kel, thank you so much. We love you too.
Kel.
Thank you so much for that super chat. You guys are very educational. Thank you.
He's the man. Christina says, Craig's, you're the man. He is the man. I have 200 pounds to lose. Ultra keto is a way. Do you have a video on that? I'm new here. I would do.
Well, Ultra Ketos is the name the magazine gave us.
It's because we don't do you can buy Duncan Hines keto brownies now. We're not doing
You're
that.
Not gonna lose weight.
Do not go to Costco and buy anything that has the word keto on it and think
Just eat Whole Foods.
If it comes from a package, we don't really eat it.
Yeah, it's Whole
Maybe
Foods.
Maybe the egg life wraps.
We're talking meat and low carb vegetables.
Yeah. It's hot in here.
Whole Foods. When can egg white recipe instead of where can I get that? Where's that recipe?
If you go to Maria Mind Body Health or go to ketomaria.com, well, it's a fried rice, but you just don't have to add the fried rice.
Yeah, the fried part.
Like the green onions and stuff. It's just egg whites and broth. If you do fried rice, yeah. Well, they can search that.
And,
if you go to
and this way you'll get a link to our blog too.
That's a cauliflower.
This one?
Oh, there's breakfast fried rice, but that's
here's an example. This is also a link to our blog.
Yeah, go to the blog, search fried rice, and there's going to be a bunch of them. But I've been blogging since blogging first started. That's why I have the worst URL, Maria Mind Body Health. I should have picked Keto Maria or just keto.com.
Yeah.
Your platinum membership is the best. Christina, you are
you.
awesome. Thank you.
Let's see. Blueberries raise my glucose more than regular candy.
Because there's no fat. If you get candy like a Snickers bar, there's going to be fat in it to lower your blood sugar. But pure fructose is not the way to go.
Well, and it depends how much you eat too. Like if you're eating
a
lot of blueberries, it can definitely do that.
We should see fruit as nature's candy.
Yeah.
But we are applauding children. There was a kid. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse last night, and my kids ate their heart out as steak. And the kid next to him, Kai's like, that kid only is eating fruit.
Plate of fruit.
And
like it's healthy.
But I know, but fruit should be seen as nature's candy. It shouldn't be seen as this health food that it is seen as. Oh, we got another. Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Smirla.
Eating mostly meat and eggs, some vegetables. I do not like fish at all. I'm missing out on important nutrients. Should I be taking some sort of supplement? Do you do any organ meat?
Well, first of all, you have to understand, meat is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat.
Yeah, we have great charts.
There are more vitamins and minerals in meat than in pretty much any vegetable. Okay, what nutrients?
Nutrients, yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a chart here.
Oh, there it is, the anti-nutrients.
Yeah, that's this chart on this link.
Oh yeah,
will help educate you on where your vitamins and minerals are coming from, and it's not the kale, it's not the vegetables. Most of your vitamins and minerals are coming from the beef, the animal proteins. They're the most nutrient dense.
We don't eat any vegetables. But Dawn's asking, how do you get to your blog? There you go.
The
There's
link
some-
above, Don, the right up there, just above that is above that super chat is a link to our
You
book.
can see all the comments here.
Um,
Thank you for your videos.
and-
I've also have your books and your information. Well, thank you so much. And she
Awesome.
also gave us a super chat. She's so sweet.
uh,
Are collagen supplements okay instead of protein powder? No. Collagen
That
is
won't
not a
work.
complete amino acid.
and it's
profile.
not you wouldn't use that to hit your protein goal or anything.
No. So collagen isn't complete. That doesn't count towards your protein.
Doesn't have enough leucine.
It's not that we don't like them.
Collagen's great.
A third of your body's made up of collagen, but when we talk about protein and your protein macros, collagen is not in that category.
No organ meats. Organ meats are optional.
We do some organ supplements.
They're great if you like them because they're off the charts of vitamins and minerals.
Love your charts, Christina.
There's pretty much no food on the planet that's got more vitamins and minerals in it than beef liver. So sometimes we'll mix it in with hamburger, like 5-to-1, 5 parts hamburger to a little 1 part of ground beef liver, and then you don't really notice it too much, and it's like a multivitamin for your food.
Yep. I ate beef liver
charts,
2 days this week. Wow, I feel like it made so much better.
Yeah, it's very satiating, and there's something about getting all those vitamins and minerals. Your body's like, oh, I got enough.
My favorite organ meat is sweetbreads. It's
Yeah,
neither
they're
sweet
great too.
nor a bread, but it's it's like
All
a tender
organ
chicken
meats-
nugget.
All organ meats are really great
Yeah.
for nutrients.
How often should we eat beef liver? I think 2 times a week is enough.
Yeah, once, twice a week is fine. I don't know.
Bird lover, thank you. First
Serving,
time here,
depends
you're
what the
both
serving.
great. Thank you, bird lover.
Thank you
And
so
I
much
love
for
your
super chat.
title. You would love this because he's a bird lover himself. He has hummingbird feeders all over his
Yeah.
windows.
Like to take photos of them when I can sometimes.
Yesterday.
Slowly transitioning a 13-year-old to keto carnivore. I saw that you wonderful recipes for that. Any advice about
I would suggest, so in all of my YouTube videos, I've been ending with my 12-year-old. We have a 12 and 13-year-old eating the food at the end and how his reaction is. And a lot of parents tell me that your son is inspiring my children to eat sugar-free. And I try to tell my kids, like, you are an inspiration to other children because they haven't eaten sugar since they've been in our lives for the last 12 years. And they actually weren't even on the growth charts when they were little, when we first adopted them, and now they're thriving. But
2 quick ones here. Is collagen made from protein? Yes, it's amino acids, but it doesn't have the right amino acids for building muscle, like primarily leucine. And so if you don't get enough of that, your body's not going to build muscle if you don't get enough leucine. And so it's good for other things, but don't use it for hitting your protein goal, building muscle.
Beef gelatin is the same thing. It's not a complete.
And then can I eat protein sparing modified fast every other day following regular keto in between? If you shed 45 pounds? No, I wouldn't do it that often. I would think of it as a tool that you're replacing a water fast with.
But they do every other day water fasting all the time.
True, but I still don't think it's a good idea to do it that often unless you've got a lot of weight to lose. Doing it 3-4 days a week. I guess every other day, if you worked out to 3 days, that might be okay. We usually say 1 to 3 days a week of protein sparing. And then if you're doing it every week like that, add an overfeeding day, which is just a day of added fat at a maintenance keto macro. Yep. 1 day a week to keep the metabolism honest. That's one way to do it.
I don't care for beef some reason except a ribeye, but I love ground lamb. Oh, do ground lamb. Yeah. That's awesome. Ground lamb is great. Do that instead of beef. I seriously don't know what I would do without you two.
No.
You've changed my life and want to be a keto coach so bad. Do it, Christina. You would love it.
Thank you so much.
Is egg protein okay? Yes.
Yep. That's awesome.
What is the best collagen? Some smell so bad. I personally do ancestral supplements capsules. And what?
But I would add, if you want to do a powder, the Further Foods collagen doesn't have any smell.
There's no S. Further
Food.
And if you use code Maria Mind Body, you save like 20%.
Yeah, no order on
but
that
we
one.
are very picky, and I only recommend stuff that we believe in, that we use, and because we get asked to sell everybody's stuff, and we're like, no, that's not good.
Dozen rejections a day.
Yeah, like even like Real Good Foods. We used to like Real Good Foods. They used to make like a keto pizza with the chicken crust, and now they added seed oils and all of that type of stuff. Stay away.
I love this. Kayla says, thank you, Maria. By the way, my son watches some of the videos, and he likes to see them taking part.
That's so sweet. I'm going to tell Kai
That's
that because
awesome.
he helped me make, we made a no-bake churro cheesecake about an hour ago. And he sometimes doesn't feel like helping out, but he did help me because I wanted him to. And I'm going to tell him that. So. My anemia got worse on the carnivore diet. Do you think it caused it? No, you have a gut absorption issue.
Yeah. HCl.
Hydrochloric acid with pepsin. Yeah. You probably have low, to absorb
pepsin.
Protein. Pepsin.
Yeah, you need...
No, not pepsin. No. Protease.
Protease, yeah.
You have to build up protease if you haven't been eating meat for very long. Amy says, how do you feel about Equip Colostrum? They promote it a lot. Yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of gut issues, it can be really helpful. There's just so many good supplements out there. I used to really recommend that, but I just kind of got away from it. Further Food collagen and gelatin have no scent and no flavor. They incorporate it into foods beautifully. Yes, Lisa, I do use the Further Food gelatin in the protein sparing bagels. Here's the thing, people, if you're new here, protein sparing, it sounds like, oh, I have to eat chicken breasts and, scallops and shrimp, stuff you don't like. No. I have a protein sparing donut. I have protein sparing bagels. I have protein sparing bread. It's made with egg whites. If you go to the blog link and search around for protein sparing, I have thousands of free recipes. You do not have to buy one thing from us. We just want you to get better. And then maybe you send us an email that, hey, I did lose that 100 pounds just eating good food like you recommended.
In carnivore 97 days, lost 15 pounds. Great job. First few weeks. I'd like to lose another 10. I cut out eggs and cheese. Think that would do it?
I think cheese.
Cheese. I don't know if the eggs will affect that, but
yeah.
And here's some. I always try to tell people, when you get to that like 10 pounds or less stage, focus on something other than the scale, because body composition can change. And if you're prioritizing protein and you're gaining a little muscle, maybe you don't need to lose 10 more pounds. Yeah. Maybe you've gained some muscle and now you only need to lose 5 or something.
But also, Aaron, your sleep is a huge player on weight loss success, and so is coffee. So those things not a lot of people talk about.
But if you do like before after photos and measurements for body composition and focus more on body composition than that number on the scale, it can be helpful.
I want to get on board. Where do I start? I have to lose 50 pounds, extreme carboholic. Don't keep it in the house, because I was extreme carboholic. And if it was in the house, it would call my name in the middle of the night. Nobody in your house needs it. So, but whatever your favorite food is, maybe it's bagels. Try my bagel recipe and just be open to, it's not going to be the same, but hey, I can have a bagel and I'm losing weight like a banshee. Like it will be fast.
The ancestral was the collagen, their collagen capsules.
And if you use code Keto Maria, you save 10%.
I'm starting beginner carnivore level next week.
Protein sparing cinnamon rolls are the bomb. See, you can have cinnamon rolls.
After getting your new book, I have your earlier carnivore book too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Their supplements are great. They are. In your protein sparing recipes, you use egg white powder. Is that the same as egg white protein? Yeah.
Yep.
It's just dried egg whites.
Yep. Dehydrated egg whites. That's all it is.
Let's see. Protein sparing cinnamon rolls sound amazing. They are. They are amazing. I'm going to tell you a little story. Some of you new, like Lisa, you know my story. Carrie, you know my story. I worked at a coffee shop when I was 15. And I would go before school started to make the scones and the muffins and the cinnamon rolls. And then I would go to high school. After school, I would go back and we would close the coffee shop about 5 p.m. Whatever didn't sell, I got to go home with. So I would make extra cinnamon rolls in the morning just so I would have dinner. And you think I'm kidding? And I'm not. That's what a carbaholic I was. But I was diagnosed with so many illnesses. I was like, I don't want to be this anymore. So I just started recreating some of my favorite foods because I was not going to eat chicken breast and broccoli, and I still don't to this day. So if I need a dessert, I have my protein-sparing cinnamon rolls without any guilt. And I've had a dessert every day of my journey for the last 26 years. The orange rolls, thank you, Amy. If Amy's still on, Amy was the one who did the protein-sparing orange rolls.
So she helped that. Thanks, Vincent. So I put a link to the protein-sparing cinnamon rolls. Everybody wants to try them.
Happy birthday, Amy. 50th birthday. Happy birthday, Amy.
Awesome.
I used your bagel recipe and put jalapenos and shredded cheddar on some of it. It's talking about dairy-free. But everything bagel seasoning on the rest, oh my goodness, it's satisfying. See, you just have to be open-minded. And that's the thing in life. We're going to leave on this note because we have children.
Yeah.
We're going to leave on this note. If you are oh, Maria said I can't have any bread, I can't have any rice, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Okay. And the same thing when I was told I couldn't have my own children, I wasn't like, oh, I can't have my own kids, whatever. He was like, hey, we're going to adopt kids. We were super excited about it. And we were successful in it. Like whatever your goal is, if you have a great attitude about it, you will win. But if you have a bad attitude, like, oh man, all I can think about is the crackers and the bagels that I want, you're going to fail. You have to be like, oh, Maria just said I could have the protein sparing cinnamon rolls. I'm going to get my oven on, even though it's 90.
There's a great image that I've shared a long time ago that said keto got easier. You could say any lifestyle got easier when I can't have that turned into I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That is the key.
So
thank you everybody, especially for the super chats.
Yes, thank you very much.
But maybe we'll do this again. If you liked it, let us know and share it with your friends to just show them how delicious healthy eating can be. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.